All right, here to put this all in context, Doug Smith, former Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. So break this down for us, Doug. Come Thursday, are we going to have the same, and I don't want to use the word chaos because it wasn't chaos, it was sort of a couple of people who were inconvenienced, but are we going to sort of have the same questions and issues that we had before? Yeah,
I think we've already seen that. The night this was announced, Hawaii already filed suit. I think tragically what's happening is the president is putting a tremendous amount of energy to fulfill a campaign promise while letting so many other things slide. Just this week, as we saw with the WikiLeaks, as you've been reporting this morning on the White House jumper, there are a lot of pending real national security issues that are happening while they put all their energy onto fighting this ban. So I think that's the big challenge.
You can argue whether they're putting all their energy into this. They certainly sort of scaled way back from where they were. You just brought up the issue of the White House jumper, and I wanted to bring sort of some new news to this from President Trump. He was out at his golf course about 35 minutes from the White House, brisk Saturday afternoon. He's there with some of his staff, along with a couple of cabinet secretaries, including General Kelly from DHS. The White House pool was brought in, and the president was asked about the White House jumper last night. This is a quote from the president. The service, meaning the Secret Service, did a fantastic job. It was a troubled person. It was very sad. The president, at least based on this, doesn't seem too fazed by what happened last night. Should he be?
I think what he should be fazed about is the Secret Service is stretched unbelievably thin, much like the Coast Guard, much like ICE, and the more they distract and take funds away from those important missions, the more he should be worried. I mean, the Secret Service has a very, very big job. When you live in a free and open democracy and you can walk down Pennsylvania Avenue and look at that beautiful building, it's hard to protect, and the Secret Service is in desperate need of more resources, more manpower, more technology.
Dan Bongino, formerly of the Secret Service, was on about 2 hours ago and sort of sounded these, I'm not going to categorize them, sounded alarm bells, saying the Secret Service is woefully unprepared, terribly understaffed, morale is at its worst, they're not ready, all these kinds of things. As somebody who's been at the agency at least recently, DHS, does that ring true?
I would say the first point, not. They are incredibly well prepared. They're probably the highest trained law enforcement unit in the entire world.
Best bodyguards in the world.
Understaffed, though. They're tremendously understaffed. Morale is horrible. They are spread incredibly thin.
Yeah, we keep hearing that, even when you go to the White House, when you show up to go up to Pebble Beach and work in the room, you go through in the White House press room, you go through a Secret Service security screening, and it's hard not to overhear them grumbling about overtime, low pay, bad schedules, quick turnarounds, all those kinds of things, which, hey, look, we all work a tough schedule sometimes, but when you hear it across the board, it does make you wonder, hey, look, are the guys who are charged with protecting the president, his family, foreign missions in the United States, are they underfunded, for lack of a better term?
They are underfunded, and that's the real challenge. When you propose taking $20 billion to a wall, it's got to come from somewhere else. And who needs it? The Secret Service. The Coast Guard, which is held together by baling tape and bubble gum, desperately needs it.
Well, we've heard it's not only the Coast Guard, but it's also the Marines, who half of their planes don't fly. Big problems with Air Force readiness as well. But, Doug, as you point out, it's important to remember that when you talk about money, it's got to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
All right. Great having you. Appreciate your insights.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.